Some years ago, I was a child, and thus I was scared of stuff that's not scary. Used to have to leave the room sometimes when my uncle was watching Buffy. And I had more than one nightmare about that scene from Goosebumps when the mummy comes up the stairs. Holy shit, okay, fuck that, that's still scary. And of course, this was the case in the video game world too. I didn't want to play Resident Evil when I was 5 years old. In fact, I barely wanted to play Resident Evil when I was 20 years old. Now, just like all of us, when I was a little boy, I was all about colourful stuff that had bouncy music and amusing sound effects, like... What have I got? And especially if there was some shameless licensing going on too. And then I got to thinking the other day, before I delve any deeper into my collection of obscure PlayStation titles of the 90s and noughties, maybe I should take a quick trip back to some of the games that started it all off for me. I'm not talking about the likes of Spyro the Dragon and Crash Bandicoot here, because, well, for one thing, I like to show you guys things you've never seen before, but also because, oh shit, these aren't kids' games, I still love these things. Oh yeah, somebody stop me. No, I'm talking the real deal. You know the type of thing. We all have our own personal ones. Those weird gateway titles that tended to be bought for us by our parents before we were actually old enough to know what we really wanted. So yeah, buckle up. You're about to watch a review of 3 children's games that I owned solely due to misguided purchasing. Okay, go. My parents were born in the 60s and so didn't have video games when they were kids. Instead, they occupied their playtime with such classic games as hoop rolling, mumbly peg, huckle buckle beanstalk and mammoth tipping. You know, the good wholesome stuff. As a result, when I was little, it was kind of hard for them to see the benefit of this over this. But when my dad got a compact desktop computer in 1995, one of those that you had to wind up to get the inner coal furnace going, those clever game advertisers managed to play the old education card, and my older brother was soon landed with this.
Welcome to my first amazing world explorer.
Hey, thanks, man. Oh boy, this intro. Whoa, hey, look at him go. I hope this Livewire is a playable character. And the car drives around a bit and the parrot takes off, and then whoa, hey, he's at it again. Whoa, this raccoon is off the fucking chain.
My first amazing world explorer
is a game by Dorling Kindersley, the worldwide publishing company that makes the textbooks and the guidebooks and the fact books, and for some reason decided to take things in a completely different direction in the 1990s and also release a bunch of CD-ROM games. The aim of the game, as the stupidly long title suggests, is to explore the world, and you do this with an interactive map and some good old-fashioned a pointing and a clicking. Perfect for young kids who aren't very good with their keyboards yet. It's just a shame that whenever I try to go east, the game crashes because it reckons I'm trying to divide by 0.
East.
But whoa, hey, slow down there. You can't go exploring no world before you've created a passport and chosen from this wide variety of flattering photographs. Man, so many handsome faces. How could I possibly decide? Oh god, this guy looks like he's seen some shit. And check out Captain Cool here. Bet he's drowning in pussy. Oh, never mind, clear winner here. There are well over 200 interactive objects and places to find on this gorgeous map, and they all do something interesting when you click on them. Seriously, check these out. Some of them even interact with each other, which is a cute idea. So yeah, plus 50 fun points for all the art, animation and sound, although I did spot one weird thing that's been passing me by for about 19 years. It seems that one of the audio guys was working on some of the African map objects one day and realised he didn't have a sound clip of a guy speaking the language of the Dinka people, but instead of just recording some subtle inaudible mumblings, he decided to get a voice clip of a Scottish man, presumably another member of the DK sound team, and just play it in reverse, because you know, that's what brown people languages sound like. Here it is as it appears in the game. And here it is in reverse. So there you go. I'm not sure whose bright yet slightly politically incorrect idea this was, but the audio section of the credits does list 2 people with a very Scottish surname, so my money's on both of the McQuaid brothers working in cahoots. Fucking McQuaid brothers! Hey, you see these things? They're videos you can pick up on the map by clicking on submarines and space rockets. They play short clips which tell you all about the creatures that live in that particular ocean. Or on the moon. It's pretty interesting, and the art style is really pleasant. On top of that, you can send planes and boats around the world to earn a passport stamp. You can collect postcards from certain locations, and there's even a sticker book to fill in.
Sticker book?
That's right. I'll take 3 copies, please, and 1 more for my work PC. Do you do a tablet version too? All these collectibles and activities do a good job of keeping you entertained as a kid so that you can be covertly drip-fed information without realising you're playing a game which is essentially about geography and nothing more. Nerd! I probably should have picked this photo. But honestly, as a kid, all you're really thinking about is finding all the stickers and getting every postcard stuck to your wall in the bedroom. You know, the bedroom. Did I forget to mention the bedroom? Well, we can take a little look at the bedroom if you really... Oh yeah! What a cool room! Fucking toys and colours and... Man, look at all the toys. There are even a few slightly tedious mini-games for you to play when you fancy a quick tea break from pointing and clicking on everything in the whole world. It's a really fun room to explore when you're 5 years old. That is, until you realise that it's possessed. Which it is. Real talk. This t-shirt wants to kill you for starters. There are hungry monsters locked in your drawers. Your dressing gown is straight out of A Christmas Carol. This t-shirt still wants to kill you. And fuck this backpack. Also, the walls make animal noises. Someone get Derek Akora in here right now. But it's okay, because when you're scared to the point of incontinence, you can forget all about it by just heading back to the map to listen to these incredibly well-spoken children tell you about owls and shit.
Ural owl.
Some of these kids are super eloquent.
Kettle ranching.
Kettle ranching. But no, seriously, I really dig most of the voice work in this game, overlooking 1 or 2 lines that could have used a retake.
Can you find the tiger?
What did she just say? I think she said tiger. Okay. Fucking McQuaid brothers! I learnt quite a lot of stuff from this game as a kid. Everything from the name of the biggest flower in the world to how long it takes to walk the width of the USA. It's just a shame it was all useless pub quiz information and there wasn't a section on card counting or how to pick up women. And I must admit, the way these objects are presented can be a little confusing at times, especially for a 5-year-old. I used to think wolverines were the size of a bear, for example. And I also got it into my head that in the same way that Big Ben goes on the hour every hour, St. Basil's Cathedral in Moscow goes... It doesn't. It should though. But all in all, this game delivers exactly what's advertised to the parents without being dull for the young children playing it. I've owned a few educational games in my time and this was definitely one of the more engaging. Capping off this game is the music, with a unique theme playing on each of the map squares. Most of them fit pretty well and are a clever way to show off a bit more of the culture from that part of the world. Although for some reason the one at New Zealand sounds like the start of the Animaniacs theme tune. Well, that's a funny coincidence, because guess what our second game is? Oh, it's in the title of the video.
It's time for Animaniacs!
My god. For those of you who tragically missed out, this was one hell of a show. Likeable characters, appealing animation, catchy original songs, and a memorable theme tune, which was rehashed for this game, I might add.
Look at Wacko as he tries to pull your processor apart.
I also adored the comedic style in Animaniacs, as there were always a few subtle jokes thrown in for older viewers to enjoy.
Number 1 sister, dust for Prince. I found Prince! No, fingerprints. I don't think so.
I have so much love for kids shows that do this kind of thing, although I don't think you can get away with it nowadays, which is a shame. So it felt like all my Christmases had come at once when my dad came home one night in 1997 and handed over a copy of Animaniacs Game Pack for Windows 95. And boy did I play this game a lot. It certainly made a change from listening to Bewitched cassettes and rubbing jelly aliens together. Lol, the 90s, am I right? This game was developed by Funny Bone Interactive. Yeah, me neither. It starts out by breaking the 4th wall, almost literally, when the 3 water tower dwelling Warner kids, Yakko, Wacko and Dot, bash their heads on the inside of your monitor, glitch out the matrix and realise they're in a computer game.
We're the Warner Brothers!
Hell yeah you are. The McQuaid brothers ain't got nothing on you two. Instead of having an existential crisis, which is definitely what I do, they create a menu screen for you and then you let loose upon any of these 5 minigames, all of which are pretty loyal to the TV show to some extent. Each one is preceded by a little cutscene featuring characters voiced by the actual TV cast, and they even threw in a musical number, which is totally unnecessary but still fantastic since I have a soft spot for all the songs they used to do on the show. However, the fact of the matter is that when it comes to gameplay, some of these hold up better than others. You've got a breakout clone, a mini golf game, a top-down dungeon crawler type thing. Fairly unremarkable on paper, I'll admit, but dig a little deeper and you'll find some pretty unique features hidden amongst them, so it's not quite that clear cut. Take Smoocher for example. 2D platformer, defeat all the enemies to advance to the next level. Seems like there's nothing special here beyond the pretty artwork and excellent music. However, the slightly unusual aspect is that your projectile attack, a smooch, just stuns your enemies, and you have to actually touch them to take them off the map, so you're forced to move around a bit more and things can get really hairy. It's like Kill Confirmed in Call of Duty, except it's not been churned out of an insipid cookie-cutter sequel machine, and it has Hello Nurse in it. Ooh. Wait, no, that sounds weird. Can we go again? Except it's not been churned out of an insipid cookie-cutter sequel machine, and it has Dr. Scratch and Sniff in it. Different enemies take different numbers of smooches to be stunned, and some of them have special abilities. The Mime is immune when performing the glass box trick. Slappy Squirrel beats off your smooches with her handbag and so can only be taken from behind, if you'll pardon the phrase. And the Good Feathers can fly all over the shop. Fucking death from above, these guys. In fact, all of these enemies are pretty smart. The AI really knows what it's doing, and it's surprisingly easy to be trapped and get a game over. So yeah, not quite the bland platformer it first appears to be. Baloney's Balloon Bop is also more than meets the eye, especially if you can look beyond this ridiculous name. At first glance, this just looks like Atari Breakout, except with deadly hugs and a trampoline. But there are more than just your everyday point-scoring balloons up there. The starred ones drop cool power-ups like ice and a cannon that sets you on fire. And these blue balloons, well, they contain a special little something. Games you'll love your kids to love. Non-violent gameplay. Suitable for all ages. This image is forever ingrained upon every available inner surface of my skull cavity. Then you've got Prop Shop Drop over here. Once again, it's a case of dumb name, good game. You have to ride around the Warner Brothers studio on a bike and collect various movie props for this old guy who pronounces the H in vehicle.
That's your vehicle.
I ought to hook this dude up with the woman from World Explorer. She pronounces the H in tiger. This is probably my favourite game on the disc due to its sharp controls and awesome soundtrack. I think my sense of nostalgia is getting in the way a bit because I almost overlooked the fact that the theming on some of these levels is inconsistent, to say the least. On level 1, you're collecting eggs for a movie that's set on a farm, so the obstacles that you have to avoid here are animals and tractors and stuff, which is totally fine. Then level 3 sees you search for tissues for a movie about the common cold and the healthcare industry. So obviously you're dodging hospitals, ambulances and stretchers. And space monkeys? Yeah, okay, sure. It's alright, it's just a space monkey in the hospital. It's not very hygienic, but at least it's wearing a suit. Common cold. 10 out of 10, says the Times. I liked the bit with the space monkeys, says the Mail. Also, there's a Godzilla who chucks skyscrapers at you. But that's fine. That's totally... I don't know what fucking country you guys come from, but all British hospitals have at least 2 kaiju on every ward. 3 at the ICU. Consistent themes. Who needs them? Funny Bone Interactive, 1997. But man, this game is super hard, just like Smoocher and Balloon Bop. I mean, look at all this stuff. 17 years of ownership and I've beaten the final level once. It's okay, because I do like a challenge, but sadly the 2 remaining minigames are tricky to the point of just being kinda bad. The golf game, Tee-Off, is terribly inaccurate, which is like the one thing that's paramount in a precision sport like golf, and so the best thing to do in this game is not care too much about your score and, again, just enjoy the pretty artwork and snazzy music. Then you've got Belchinator 2, which kind of feels like the remnants of an idea for a standalone game that was never fully developed.
So, but where can we find a software developer willing to make a game based on this?
The premise is that there are a bunch of machines who want to overthrow the human race. It's kind of like that Schwarzenegger movie, Junior. You have to kill the robots with belches as you make your way through some pretty complex levels. I mean, I don't mind complex maps if the game is interesting, but I just never really got into Belchinator. The scenery and gameplay is too repetitive, the robots get tough very quickly, and the ammo can get really scarce. Not that it's even easy to aim the damn stuff, so I just don't find it fun. All in all though, Gamepak is a pretty good example of how things should be done in this genre. There are a bunch of similar titles out there that have too many minigames on offer, meaning the quality is spread too thinly and each one ends up mediocre at best. But you've got some genuine gems in Gamepak with surprising replayability. Additionally, too many TV and movie licensed video games are made without any due loyalty to the source material, but that couldn't be further from the truth here.
That wasn't pretty.
But hey, let's rewind a minute to the subject of mediocre minigames as I present to you our final game of the day, Jurassic Park Danger Zone.
Danger Zone!
Well hey, we're off to a good start with a jingle like that. I bought my copy of Danger Zone in 2001, by which time I was no longer a stupid kid who liked to buy stupid kids games and hadn't been for several years. But for some reason I bought this stupid kids game. I don't know, I like dinosaurs, shoot me.
Shoot her!
Jurassic Park games are weird if you ask me. The quality has always been totally unpredictable over the years. Remember what I was saying about being loyal to your source material? Well, there are plenty of good ones to go at that fit really well into the JP universe, but then there's the likes of Jurassic Park Rampage Edition for the Mega Drive, in which a helpful Gallimimus carries Alan Grant through the savannah while he guns down humans and helicopters. Don't look at me like that, it's real. This game sits somewhere towards that end of the spectrum, I guess because it's made by Knowledge Adventure, who made nothing worth shouting about in their entire existence and now own Neopets, apparently. Oh shit! Oh shit, my Neopets! The Danger Zone backstory goes that an earthquake has struck Jurassic Park, and I guess Richard Attenborough didn't add any quake proofing to these buildings because everything got wrecked. Literally everything. So much for spared no expense.
Absolutely spectacular design, spared no expense.
Turns out all the dino DNA got spilled on the floor, and now they can't make dinosaurs from it because it's got a load of floor bits in there, and so if you used it to create an egg, it would grow up to be like a dinosaur but with bits of floor growing out. A dinofloor. Fortunately, there are still plenty of living dinosaurs running around the island, and so DNA can be harvested from them. That's where you and either a friend or a computer-controlled player come in. The first thing I dislike about this game is that I have to play as one of these chumps. I want to be Jeff Goldblum. I want to be Jeff Goldblum and do the Jeff Goldblum noise. That said, the voiceover guy in this game is almost a worthy substitute if you can look past the fact that he never actually shuts up. He's so damn animated and excited about everything, it's great. I mean, we've not even landed on the island yet, but just listen to the way he's saying everyone's names.
Rick Raptor, Dr. Brachio, Stomp.
So yeah, anyway, you have to choose one of these guys. I don't know, I guess I'll pick Julia Roberts over here. Then you have to choose the dinosaur whose DNA you're trying to acquire. I don't know, I guess I'll pick Julia Roberts over here. Let's go.
This is the island.
Oh, it's a... Huh. Okay. It's a board game. Great. You drive around the island hoping to land on one of these things, so you can dart your dinosaur and start replenishing the park's DNA stocks. Man, that fucking kind of shaving cream would be kind of handy right now. You have to come here 4 times or more, depending on whether you can keep hold of your DNA once you've got it. And obviously you need to be sure that you dart the correct species of dinosaur. Don't go shooting any other types. The rest of the squares are fairly irrelevant and are here to just drag things out. Most of them are mini-games, and they play funky little jingles when you land on them.
Video pair up, video pair up. Jurassic attack.
But that's about all that can be said in their favour. Unfortunately, they all fall into one of 2 categories. Yawn or fuck. Mostly yawn. This one's yawn, this one's fuck. Yawn, 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 fuck, yawn, 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 fuck, yawn. Then there are traps you can fall into. Mud, quicksand, dinosaur dung.
That is one big pile of shit.
They're all fuck too. And lastly, there are chance cards, which are actually quite good. It's like playing Monopoly, but you don't fall out with your entire family by the end. Let's look at a few of these minigames in a little more detail. In Decoding Danger, you have to match up symbols on this electrical fence in order to activate it and block off this hungry velociraptor. Not sure what the big issue is though. Fence or no fence, we're going to be alright guys. This vision is based on movement.
Defenders, look out! Defenders, defenders!
Oh yeah. T-Rex. Then you've got Raging Raptors, where you control a hologram velociraptor and try to kill the other one. The developers seem to think this is the best minigame because they've placed 3 of them on the board and they rave about it on the back of the CD case. Funny that, because it's really just a clunky spam fest and there's little to no skill or fun involved in it. So maybe you prefer to play Simon with a Spinosaurus call box to prevent it from attacking you. Me neither. Doesn't matter though guys, we'll be fine. This vision is based on...
Watch out, Dino Defenders! Head to the first aid station.
God fucking damn it.
In some of these minigames, you're competing against the other player, such as in the trivia challenge called Jurassic Attack. Conversely, several of these games are for a single player, and then there are a couple of occasions in which you have to work as a team. It's a weird sort of mixture, and I don't think it really works when you're having to rapidly change from "Yeah bro, we got this" into
I hate you. I hate you.
Generally speaking, the reward for completing minigames tends to be a few points that you can use to get out of a jam or spend at the supply shed. And look at all the stuff you can buy.
Bug spray, Spinosaurus call box, bug zapper, rope, dino charge batteries, truck tires, first aid kit.
Except no. You can buy one thing per visit. Can't argue with this security guard, good lord. I have no idea what to say about the visuals in this game. Some bits look great, like really great. I mean, look at this fucking T-Rex, I love it. But it is pretty off-putting how other parts of the scene don't match up at all. The T-Rex looks really dynamic and crisp and even has shadows moving across his face. But then you've got a background that appears to have been hand-drawn, including ripples that have been frozen in time. And then the truck, briefcase and player seem to have been modelled and textured in a totally different style to the T-Rex. It's like a bunch of different people went off and created a bunch of different assets in a bunch of different modelling programs without without saying a single word to each other the whole time. The dart game, for example, has an entirely different look to anything else. It's quite a stark contrast to go from this awesome animated T-Rex to this Spinosaurus who walks like he's been darted 8 times already. And that's about all I can say for this game. Ultimately, you're just going to spend a lot of time in this general area because you get sent to the first aid station like every other turn, and your only company is going to be the narrator who, as I mentioned before, talks all the fucking time and gets boring very quickly.
Spectacular! Almost like that truck had wings.
When it's not game instructions, it's judgmental comments.
I know you'll do better next time. Try not to drive into those if you can help it.
And when it's not judgmental comments, it's fist-bitingly cringy remarks like,
Your turn, Farrah, if you dare.
oh man, I'm so done. So there you go, some of the first games I ever played. Baptism of fire, I reckon. There were others, of course. Better ones, worse ones. I'll review them all someday, but these 3, ho, they don't make them like this anymore.
Yo, look out! We have to get you to the first aid station, and fast.
Probably for the best.